On the night of June 30, and amidst international condemnation from multiple countries, the CCP imposed its new national security law on Hong Kong. Critics of this strict new law say it strips HK residents of their civil and social freedoms and cements Beijing's authoritarian rule over the territory. July 1st is traditionally a day of protests in Hong Kong, but for the first time since it was turned over by Great Britain, police would not grant permission for any peaceful demonstrations. But despite this threat of stricter penalties for protesting, this lack of permission would not deter Hong Kong's courageous residents.
不論種族、不論膚色、不論宗教、不論任何嘅背景同階級，一齊上街反對呢個國安法。我哋明白反對要去撤回係非常非常之難，但係香港人係必須要表態，必須要發聲。
This year's march was initiated by Chen Huahuan, the deputy convener of the Democratic Front, and done so in conjunction with a number of Democratic activists. It was to begin at 2 p.m. in the afternoon and to run from East Point Road in Causeway Bay to Chater Road. By 1 p.m., nearly 1 million peaceful protesters crowded the streets from Causeway Bay to Admiralty. As anticipated, they were met by 5,000 police officers who aggressively confronted them with tear gas, water cannon spray, pepper balls, and rubber bullets. Several arrests were made, including Yin Zhaojiang, a member of the Democratic Legislative Council. Police officers pushed him to the ground and promptly arrested him. Later in Causeway Bay, a man carrying a Hong Kong independence flag became the first to be arrested under the new Hong Kong national security law. The police repeatedly unfurled purple warning flags, intercepted the belongings of the young pedestrians passing by. Many of the protesters were fearless in attempting to break through the police barricade lines and shouted, "Liberate Hong Kong! Revolution of our times!" Some protesters formed umbrella array on streets in Causeway Bay, confronting the police. The police and protesters also briefly clashed in nearby Wan Chai. At least 370 people were arrested Wednesday, including 10 on suspicion of violating the national security law. Among them was a 15-year-old girl. In addition, many journalists claimed injuries due to police brutality. Lawyers in Hong Kong say they're deeply concerned about the new security law, that it criminalizes acts of secession, subversion, terrorism, and collusion with foreign powers. If convicted, a person could be sentenced to life in prison. Beijing authorities can take over cases and hold secret trials without a jury. And the law does not exempt foreigners, news organizations, and international companies. The new law has sparked international condemnation. British Prime Minister Johnson announced Wednesday that his government would offer a path to citizenship for eligible Hong Kong residents. He referred to the new security law as a threat to Hong Kong's long-enjoyed freedoms. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said America was deeply concerned about the personal safety of everyone in Hong Kong, that Article 38 of the new law applied to offenses committed outside of Hong Kong by anyone, even Americans. He said, quote, "This is outrageous and an affront to all nations." Commenting further, Pompeo said, "The free Hong Kong was one of the world's most stable, prosperous, and dynamic cities. Now, it'll just be another communist-run city where its people will be subject to the party elite's whims. It's sad."